Hello everyone! In this video, I will tell you how the year 2024 will be for Gemini ascendants. First of all, Pluto will be in the 9th house, which is where it started to come in 2023, and it made visits here to make important changes, even radical changes in your perspective on life and in your vision. Of course, you are actually people who follow the world and are aware of everything, but Pluto thinks that your perspective has become a little bit biased, and it seems that it will have serious effects on you. To break down these prejudices and look through a bigger window or try to see opportunities by thinking about the impact of the changes in the world. This year will also give you many bright ideas after Jupiter's transit to Gemini, that is, after its transit to your rising sign. It will give you the chance to catch and see opportunities, especially to predict the future, to catch the trends before anyone else, to catch the current developments in the world, and if you make use of them, they will turn into great opportunities, but at the same time. Neptune and Saturn continue their visit in your 10th house. This means that you are very busy, you must work excessively, and as you get these opportunities, you add to your work because you will advance your business, or you will create a business. Maybe you will be promoted or you will change to a better job, and of course, whichever of those opportunities you get, and it seems that you can get many of them, you will have even more responsibilities. You will have to work even harder, and you will not know how to catch up with everything. The South Node in the 5th house, in trine aspects with Pluto and Jupiter from time to time, shows that sometimes you will complain about working too much and want to run away. You will feel very tired and exhausted, and sometimes you will want to say, "I have done so much, let me enjoy it a little bit, and enjoy yourself like this." But the celestial bodies compel you so much to control yourself this year. Don't rest this year, don't take breaks, or keep very small breaks because you are in a very important year. There will be a great eclipse in Pisces in your 10th house this year, and that eclipse can really make you take a big leap in life. But of course, all these leaps require hard work more and more. There is no chance of this work tempo decreasing this year. It seems to increase all the time, but working is an advantage. If you don't work, the celestial bodies may test you with illness or give you the responsibilities of others and heavy burdens. So it will be best to be tested by work and career, because there will be a chance of really great success because of this testing. Also, this year Uranus is in your 12th house. Even Jupiter will be there until May 26, and they will be in conjunction. In fact, this shows that fate is on your side, and fate supports you, although the conditions seem very uncertain and unpredictable. In fact, such deep plans, conspiracies, everything is reset. So those who think practically and wisely, those who act according to what is seen, Gemini ascendant and more Gemini sign is successful and fortunate, and can catch many things. So this year, the fateful conditions are full of opportunities that you can seize and discover. Especially this Jupiter and Uranus conjunction in the 12th house shows that a great opportunity will appear in destiny, and your chances of grabbing it are very high. In other words, fateful circumstances are actually on your side, and when you think wisely and practically and you think fast, your chances of seizing them seem very high. Of course, it's very good to think, it's very good to act wisely, but there is an emphasis on tempo this year. Like me, talking fast unintentionally in the videos, so it's not possible to slow down this year. You have to catch up with this tempo, this rhythm as much as possible, that is, you have to think and make decisions very fast. There's really no time to lose. It's going to be a thrilling year, and anything can happen at any moment. I mean, just when something good happens, it turns into something else. You have to add it to your inventory. You have to do it, catch it, and it looks like a very exciting, fast year. It looks like from the first day to the last day of the year, you might be surprised when did it go by. How did it go by so fast? On the other hand, the North Node is in your 11th house and will be in conjunction with Chiron there. Chiron is also still here, and many of your plans in life were interrupted because of it. You felt unable to realize many things you wanted. Of course, this started to change in 2023. It will change even more in 2024. But of course, this conjunction of Chiron and North Node will demoralize you once in a while. It may give you negative feelings like I won't succeed. It won't happen. It will be incomplete again and prevent you from being motivated by doing this. But don't get carried away. Keep your motivation strong. Don't think about the future. Focus on the fact that you are building the future from this moment. Focus on what you are going to do right now. That future will be built anyway, and the North Node is giving you a great support, especially when it comes to realizing your dreams. So the fate is on your side. Fate also wants to give you your dreams, and at the same time you will be at a point where you will be able to adapt to the developments in the world by thinking practically, that is, with your skills, your perception, your education, all the things you love or the things you have done so far. It's as if you are in a year with multiple advantages, and the more you work this year, the more victories you will have, and the more advanced you will be in life. But of course, if you are lazy, if you are tired, if you want to have some fun, the end of the year can cause a big mess and a breakdown. So keep the breaks and rests as short as possible in year 2024. Then it will be easier. In the following years, there is work and rush, but it will gradually decrease. So you will see the peak in 2024, the peak of work and tempo. Of course, according to the midheaven and ascendant axis, there may be some Gemini ascendants who will live 2025 very busily, but mostly 2024 will be the busiest, the most intense year when you take the most responsibility and spend the least time for yourself, unfortunately, but this brings success. So try not to think about it so badly, and there are already a lot of opportunities coming from destiny this year with Jupiter in Taurus. Jupiter in Gemini already seems to be full of luck. But remember, luck comes from thinking fast, thinking practically, grasping what is in sight. Immediately act. Otherwise, luck doesn't come out of thin air in Gemini because Jupiter is detriment in Gemini. So you don't just wait so luck comes, you just see that there are very favorable conditions for you to act. In other words, it is literally saying, there is such a great treasure out there, why doesn't anyone realize it? You realize it and take action to go and get it. Jupiter in Gemini is already showing you many of these opportunities. It will show you in Taurus and in Gemini. But what it shows in Taurus seems to come directly. What it shows in Gemini is always hard like this, because there will be a square aspect with Saturn. So those opportunities require responsibility again. There's also a situation that those opportunities require more work. It means that you must break a sweat. You must try to make use of the opportunities. Apart from that, this year the South Node will be in your 5th house. This shows that this year is not the year of love, especially if you have someone in your life or even if you don't have anyone. The people will come because Gemini ascendant can always find a date easily, but all these people who will come into your life will be capricious or will tire you out and exhaust you, and it will actually be a bit like a waste of time. In order not to experience this from them, you can be a little capricious and plan strategies. I mean, you can try to make the other side run after you with strategies like saying, you get offended at everything. You get resentful right away. Actually, you never spoil me. It will be better this way because you obviously don't have time for love and pleasure. And if you have children, they may also want a lot of attention, but unfortunately it seems that you will have to push them a little bit because they are just used to it, and they just want to be spoiled and they choose comfort zone. Don't neglect your children if they are babies or toddlers, but it looks like you will have to set some limits for children. Of course you will see eclipses in this 5 and 11th house axis. Eclipses at 5th house are unfortunately a bit negative this year. They can cause separations. On March 25th there is a lunar eclipse in Libra. It shows that your partner or your children can have problems. They can be whimsical, and you can be overwhelmed by these whims. You may feel that you are already burdened with responsibilities, and you can't stand them. On the other hand, it also shows that you may be so overwhelmed with work that you may want to escape from everything and just enjoy yourself. As I said, try not to indulge in pleasure. On October 2nd, there will be a solar eclipse in Libra. Here again, you may need to spend much money for your partner or children. In other words, you may be supporting their education or self-development because they feel a little neglected. So, you may be spending money on your partner, you may be spending money on your child's education, but here again it shows that you will want to say, I have achieved so much. Enough is enough and enjoy yourself a little bit. At the same time, you may need to pamper your partner a little bit. Otherwise, they will bluff you like I'm leaving you. You already don't love me. Although this is bluff, it doesn't look like they are really leaving, but it also looks like you will choose to spoil them anyway. This year's taking on so many responsibilities and seeing so many opportunities will make you realize your own intelligence, perception, and talents. This will be a test for you because Gemini is a very vigilant sign and ascendant, so it brings the risk of corruption, making you think a little bit like, do people in life deserve to be used a little bit? Don't choose to be corrupt. The celestial bodies have set very big traps for corrupt people, so stay in honesty, integrity, morality. Otherwise, there is a very high risk of tumbling down into one of those traps. So keep your eyes wide open, seize the opportunities, but don't resort to dishonest ways to get these opportunities. Then you will progress better. I mean, you don't need any lies, any tricks. You will be able to achieve a lot without that. You will achieve even more than what you can achieve because there are unexpected and beautiful surprises. Anything can happen at any moment in a positive way. When you act properly, when you are honest and not lazy, everything will be positive at any moment. There will be a lot of positive surprises and negative surprises will be hidden when you go in the opposite direction. You should think accordingly. Apart from that, there will also be a solar eclipse in Aries. In this eclipse, no matter who you have in your life, who you work with, how much support you think you have, what you have to do this year, what responsibilities you have, you cannot delegate even 10% of these responsibilities to anyone, so you have to do it yourself, and when you do this, you will find brilliant solutions. You will be able to create great opportunities, to find shortcuts to realize your dreams. So try to move forward without expecting support, knowing that you will act alone. The North Node is in Aries and there will be a lunar eclipse in Pisces on September 18th, which will be a very great eclipse for you. It will bring a great success, a great fame or a great promotion. It will be a very great eclipse that can take you to the top. But, as I said, it can also trigger a great destruction for those who make mistakes, deviate from honesty, slip into laziness. So this is a fiery eclipse. It will give some people, some Gemini ascendants, an incredible leap at the end of the year. It takes place on September 18th, but it will gradually ascend them towards the end. It seems to trap those who are dishonest and lazy in a big mess. Apart from that, Jupiter being in Gemini, we have already explained that. We said that all the luck possibilities will shift towards you, but you know this luck, you need to realize it. See it wisely, act and take it immediately. In other words, Jupiter in Gemini is not describing an opportunity that comes to your feet like in other signs. Now we can move on to the months. Let's get into the details on a monthly basis. Well, first of all, in January, you are already entering the month with the tiredness of 2023. There are so many things to do, so much things accumulated. You seem to be in a mood where you don't know what to do, and you want to rest a little bit. You want to spend time on your hobbies, but it is not possible. There is no time to lose. On the one hand, your child or your partner can be whimsical. This consumes you. So as I said, if necessary, you can say things like, I'm having a hard time. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I want to get away for a while. Give me some time. So unfortunately, you don't have too much time to spare for anyone. Again, this month there may be important issues related to money. There may be issues such as getting debts in order, maybe taking out a loan, clearing a debt. Again, if there is some bureaucratic work that stresses you a lot, such as a tax restructuring or applying for something, applying for a grant, or if there is a bureaucratic work you need to do. If there is a state-related official paperwork to handle, you should not postpone them anymore. They create a big crisis on you and you need to solve it. Maybe this could be starting a business in the same way, and the fateful circumstances are favorable for it. So it will be really advantageous to realize it in January. You shouldn't postpone anything this year. January is a bit like that. There is a lot of work in this whole year, but the risk of entering the year with fatigue from the past year and accumulate works is very high. Because the progress is very good, the projects are very good, but maybe you have finalized them. And if you have finalized them, the issues are getting bigger. If not, there is no time left. This year is a year of action. When we look at February, there are already concerns and worries that I won't be able to move forward like this. I won't be able to realize my plans because the North Node and Chiron conjunction will occur this month. You will again feel difficulty in focusing. In other words, you may feel like nothing is moving forward, and on the other hand, there are unexpected developments and these are causing you stress. But as I said, if you work, these are positive developments, but you need to do something for those positive developments. So there is stress and you may need to make very important decisions that will affect your entire career in February. Maybe you are starting a business in January, but in February you are making very important decisions about this business, and you are starting it in February, but you are maybe a little late, or something like that. There is a situation of experiencing crises again from the partner or the child. If you are already alone, you can be exhausted because of such meaningless flirting, so this is a 1.5-year period where you need to stop flirting. The South Node is already in the 5th house, so you should stay away from flirting. Don't be idle with flirting. It's a trap. This year you should stay away from dating, but if someone runs after you and they are good for you, you can spare some time. You can ask for time from the existing partner, but other than that you should not spare anything more. You may find a way to manage and distract your children in this way, or it seems that you may have to count the time you spend with them as rest time. When we look at March, there is already a lunar eclipse in Libra on March 25th, so the eclipse season will have started. And as I said, there will be whims and complaints from your partner and your children again. The effects of it are already reflected in February. It is also reflected later, of course. The feeling that hard work overwhelms you again continues here. There is a desire to escape, to be interested in hobbies, to rest, to leave everything behind. You should try to resist these. And on the other hand, your efforts are actually starting to yield results. You took steps in January or February and they will bring good results. There are very surprising, very pleasing developments related to the steps you have taken on these issues. You need to react quickly to these developments and move forward. One step further. And of course, on the one hand, you want to run away when you look at the work, but on the other hand, you are also experiencing worries and anxieties about the interruption of this good progress. So, it seems that you may normally have worries and anxieties about these efforts being in vain. March is going a bit like this. Let's move on to April. When we look at April, there is the solar eclipse. On April 8th, there is a solar eclipse in Aries. As I said, you feel trapped. You are trying to keep up with a lot of things, but there is no support from anyone. You have to handle everything yourself. You can delegate your works very little, and that's why you feel a little bit trapped, but these oppressive feelings allow you to find very bright ideas and very bright solutions, and suddenly a brand new future and possibilities appear in front of you. And it's like you find the key to be really rich. It's such a big inspiration. That's why this month is very precious. You should try to be very active and try to complete the accumulated works a little bit, because Mercury retrograde will also be felt. Mercury retrograde will be in Aries and it will be saying things like finalize your accumulated works, make your plans, advance them according to the developing situations, shape them, take action. Apart from that, Mars will already be in your 10th house. Life is incredibly fast. So April is a month, goes like the speed of light. Words are not enough. Mars is in your 1st house, 10th house, 11th house. It's like you're spending time at the speed of light. It's that intense. Apart from that, there is the Jupiter and Uranus conjunction this month. There are situations such as fateful circumstances developing in your favor, so the steps you take will yield very positive results and turn into a great chance. They are also beautiful, but of course you will continue to experience whims from your child and your partner. But as I said, if there is possibility of flirtation, it will consume you, and you can make mistakes. When I say flirting, you should stay away from any kind of non-official relationships. Your spouse will not cause much trouble. Those who are married are more comfortable this year. But those in a relationship, your partner can be a little whimsical. They may even bluff you with abandonment from time to time. It will be a little difficult there. But those who flirt without a constant relationship are in great danger. They can be completely lost in those flirting processes. I say beware. If there is no one, don't let it happen for another year. As I said about children, maybe trying to count the time you will spend with the child as entertainment time, and trying to enjoy yourself there may be a solution here, because there are a lot of things that you need to do all the time, but they are pulling you back. Let's talk about May. As I said, it continues at the speed of light because Mars has moved into Aries. There is more movement, more energy, everything is moving at full speed. Dreams, plans, goals, and the increasing pressure, increasing responsibility creates a great distress. You feel very challenged this year. I hope you have invested in your health in 2023 and 2022. The hustle and bustle and stress you will experience this year can make you seriously ill, although Jupiter will move into your first house, so if something happens, you will be able to discover it immediately and find a solution before it grows. But it is also very difficult to find time for health, time to take care of yourself, and this month it seems that you may experience great distress, because it seems that you have to handle everything very quickly. Otherwise, it is like an avalanche of responsibilities and things to be done. I don't want to intimidate you, but all of these will turn into success, so it is worth working. Other than that, let's see. This month, it's difficult to realize, but there are extra big opportunities, money-making possibilities. Of course, in all this hustle and bustle, there is the possibility of making a big profit with very little effort. But can you see it because of fatigue? If you focus on the work, you will be able to see it. But if you don't, there is a risk of missing it a little bit. And Jupiter will move into Gemini on May 26. It will move into your ascendant sign. Something will be clear in your mind. You will see and comprehend everything more clearly and become fully alert. In other words, you will be able to recognize every opportunity. That is, your awareness and perception will be high enough to see the opportunity at the point you look at and take it immediately. Anyway, May and onwards are pregnant with big surprises, and you have already seen that there were some before, so I would say that you should take advantage of those opportunities and big surprises immediately. I mean, there are those that can escape even if you can achieve them with a little effort, and there are those that are too big to escape. They are so evident that you cannot miss them. Again, this month, marriage and partnership issues may come up a lot. In such case, since the marriage and partnership houses are different from the love house in the natal chart because love and children's issues are in the same house, you can quickly turn the developments related to these issues into action. So, of course, when the South Node is in Libra, marriage or forming a partnership is not so great, but you are realizing something with your own advantage because Jupiter is in your ascendant sign. This is an exception, of course. This partnership or marriage may not be very beneficial for the other party, but it means that it will add a lot to you. Of course, this month will also give you the chance to end problematic partnerships and marriages. But if there is something that is really exhausting and tiring you, otherwise it doesn't tend to end good things, so the celestial bodies tend to relax you. When we look at June, there will be a trine aspect between Pluto and Jupiter on June 3rd. This is a very good aspect. It means that there are very good things in this month about power, money, being able to seize the opportunity, to see big visions, foresights, and it means that a period has come that your predictions will start to work incredibly well. Whatever you are doing, if you are interested in your career or in the stock market, for example, you said that this share will rise and it will rise, or you said that this share will fall and it will fall. It's almost like you are the oracle. So think like that. Think about your own career. There will be a need for something like this in your industry. Like if I go to this company, there is a big opportunity there. Or if I go to this country, I will find a great opportunity there. What are opportunities abroad? Or should you move to the academic field? And are there opportunities, or should you turn your knowledge and experience into an education? It can be good to use them at work. There are very favorable conditions to move your business to the internet and social media, or to do something there. If you have such plans, and if there is an opportunity to do something there within your experience and knowledge, it will be a great year and a great month for these. But especially educational issues are emphasized a bit more. You may be able to research only one subject and even give its training, because Gemini is already aware of many things. You can deepen it a little bit. and become comfortable enough to give training of it. Maybe it will not be very comprehensive. You may doubt it. The subjects you are interested in may be at such a beginner level that you can even provide trainings for many people with even that level. So think clearly, I mean. It's a year when you should focus a lot on education. A year when there are great opportunities in education. So what can happen this year in your field? Of course, you can also think of it as starting an academic career. Don't skip it. It can also be that, or go on enroll and study at a university. It doesn't say it 100%, but it can be attending a doctorate program or something. Of course, if it will provide basis for your academic career, it will be better. Let's see. In June, such events are accelerating. There are things like projects are growing and so on. On the one hand, you're stuck like, will I be able to keep up with all these things, financially and emotionally? Will I be able to handle this hustle and bustle? But since oppression allows you to come up with brighter ideas and solutions, you can move forward from there and get through it without ever regressing or falling, as long as your focus remains on the work again. So, Gemini energy is also very volatile. There is a risk of it dispersing. When your energy falls apart, such luck opportunities start to regress. But if you can keep up your focus, you will always move forward this year. Let's look at July. Of course, you may feel a bit tired again. It's already the middle of the year. Summertime, you will want to take a vacation, to rest. You will not want to do anything. You will say that you have already achieved a lot. You will say that you are overwhelmed. It seems like a month full of these things. But on the other hand, there are opportunities to increase earnings. There are ideas. Everything you do has started to attract a lot of attention and give results. So, there's a lot more to do, and at some point, you will start to get excited about the developments. Mars will be in Gemini, so even in August, when it will move into Gemini, your excitement and enthusiasm will increase, and after a certain point, when you were complaining that you wanted to rest in July, when you were complaining that you wanted to take a vacation, the celestial bodies will start to give results in a way that feeds your excitement and enthusiasm. It will start to bring very good results and money. So there are very exciting developments, and you start to feel more and more excited and enthusiastic. Let's continue with August, as I said. Since Mars will be in your ascendant sign, the enthusiasm and excitement are very high. You can go at the speed of light. You will want to have a full rest, but it's a month when you go at the speed of light. But now you have started to feel a sense of excitement. Your confidence has increased. You are going to succeed. Everything is going well, so you start to chase opportunities like this, and like a hunter, you are moving forward where you feel you can catch everything. But every opportunity you seize will mean new responsibilities. There is nothing to do. It means you have time. The celestial bodies are still giving you responsibilities. We should think like that. You normally don't want to be so busy, but this is an intensity that you can handle, and you need to think like that and remind yourself that your whole life will not go like this. This situation is specific to this year, and this year you are experiencing the top, and then step by step, you will move towards calmness and pleasure. And if you want to be in abundance during that period of pleasure and slowness, you need to push very hard here. Apart from that, this month again brings opportunities. You can catch great opportunities. In the light of these, you need to take action immediately. Take responsibilities. You need to take action immediately. Take responsibilities. Take steps. If necessary, you need to stretch your plans a little. Yes, Mercury retrograde will be there. But after all, it is there for you to implement your plans. But you have the chance to adapt those plans to the situations and conditions. It is not a year of implementing your plans step by step, even in retrograde, because everything can flexible. Fate surprises you, and you have to adapt. Think well while stretching the main plan. There may be a distress there. What happens to the main plan? For example, you desire making a lot of money. You don't give up on this main plan. It can't be stretched, or reaching this career, reaching this point. Their paths may change, or the plan is to settle abroad. The country may change. If you are very certain and say, I want to live there, don't change it. Think the other options. The celestial bodies obviously say things like that. There are also bright ideas this month, and it seems that every start you make can be a lucky start in August. Let's turn to September. You know there is an eclipse in September. As we said at the beginning, on September 18, we can already call it a magnificent September, and here all your efforts really bear fruit, great success, reward. It seems that things like promotion, fame can happen. So think about it according to your own situation. I mean, there is something happening here that will make you very proud, that will satisfy you financially and emotionally. But if you have been lazy at work, or if you have turned away from morality a little bit, unfortunately, there can be a big mess. Chaos and error here. Everything can get mixed up while everything is going well, and then, suddenly, it can hit the bottom. That's why this is a month that is so extreme, of course. For example, you can make a big mistake and ruin everything in the stock market, or you've made a lot of money. But suddenly you can be defrauded from an unexpected point, although you are Gemini ascendants, because there may be more cunning people than you, and they trap you. Of course, this is a year when everyone should be very careful against being scammed. Of course, you Gemini ascendants need to worry less, but the celestial bodies can also make you come across something dangerous when you don't follow their rules. Apart from that, the responsibilities and achievements brought by this month are enough to stress you out again. You even feel like you are being crushed under these responsibilities, and on top of that, you have to take responsibilities in home and family matters. If you take them, it seems like you will feel completely exhausted. But I mean, you don't need to take on other responsibilities because your priority is career right now. Work-related responsibilities should be your main topic. You can make a direction in a way that you can manage everything else. But of course, you may run the risk of feeling very exhausted from the accumulated responsibilities. But always remind yourself that this is temporary, and it doesn't give you a burden that you can't carry. Actually, let this be your motto. I can do this. I can handle this. Let's turn to October. There will be a solar eclipse in Libra on October 2nd, of course. I've said it many times, but I'll say it again. It shows the crisis that the partner or the child will create in the 5th house, and that they will bluff seriously here. Your child may do things like sulking or may stop sharing things with you, so you may spend a little bit money to pamper them. You can pamper the children or your partner a little bit, but this pampering is never by allocating time. You don't have extra time. You have limited time, but it means financially because we expect you to have progressed and earned quite well until that point, so it would be better to pamper them financially. So it gives you a little bit more time. Of course they don't understand. You do so many things. They can't figure out what's going on. Maybe if they understood what's going on, they wouldn't be whimsical. But you can't explain it, and they can't understand it. So it might be better to spoil them a little bit instead of telling them the hardship you lived through. This month, especially if you pay attention to the mistakes of others, the universe can bring such things to your attention, or you can investigate the risks in this regard. This can turn you back from many mistakes. It enables you to rise quickly again. So there are such opportunities. So, learning from mistakes, this is the motto. I would say pay attention to it. I mean, did you notice something wrong? Did you come across it somewhere? Or did you come across it while you were researching another thing? Fate is trying to show you them. Notice the mistakes it shows. Realize that you can also fall into those traps, or don't go down that path in the first place. There are warnings in October. Apart from that, remember that there is no way to postpone responsibilities this month. Otherwise, the slightest postponement seems to complicate things, so you have to catch up, it seems like that. Let's look at November. This energy of learning from others' mistakes continues, so make sure you pay attention to the things that come your way, such as this, and that is wrong, or there have been such bad results, and don't fall into those mistakes. In November, you will realize the seriousness of everything in this situation. Yes, you have achieved a lot, been rewarded, responsibilities have increased, but this is a line that is going very well now, and you need to focus on it. It will be a month when you realize this. And that's a good thing. You are really pushing yourself now. At least you've been lazy all year, and your pushing yourself here might be a chance to pick things up, even if it's not a full success. But there is this energy of recovery for all Gemini ascendants. At the same time, there is a risk of health problems here, unfortunately. But if you don't think about your health at all, if you constantly smoke, don't pay attention to your sleep, drink alcohol, always eat fast food, etc., and you are doing these mistakes, unfortunately, your health will give a signal here, but it seems like something that can be overcome with a quick operation, at least something you can solve like that. Of course, it would be better not to experience it, but if you are not making such big mistakes, it will work completely. This month, Pluto will be permanently in Aquarius for a long time, and you will start to see peaks and horizons that you can't really believe in life, that you never thought of, and Pluto will feed your enthusiasm for progress and focus after November 19. When we look at December, it is a very busy month. First of all, Mars will be in retrograde at the end of the year on December 7th, and the retrograde effects are actually felt in September, and because of those retrograde effects, you need to work hard in the last month of the year. Laziness is very risky here. You are as busy as bee, and it seems you have to go at the speed of light again. Apart from that, Jupiter here is focused on seizing opportunities. This opportunity may be in the form of putting yourself in the forefront, showing yourself, and there will be a responsibility you will have to take for every opportunity you seize. There is no escape from it. Here, the celestial bodies will test you again and set traps for you. Traps like whether you have deviated a bit from morality, whether you have become corrupt. Don't fall into them. If you can catch a lot of things on the right path, there is no need for anything extra. There is no need for such risks. But you don't listen anyone anymore. Maybe because of the pride of achievements. Maybe because of tiredness. You hear what works for you. You understand and listen to what works for you. I mean, it's useful like that, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's still useful not to do that for things that are related to your subject, your work, because keeping your awareness open always seems to take you to a higher position in life. So maybe it's good to turn a deaf ear to unnecessary things. This month again, there are great opportunities, especially in terms of information and education. Take a good look at what these training subjects can be. Whether there is a subject you can give training on, or whether there is a training that you can take and teach others. And this month there are very good things about gaining reputation. You can get promoted. You can earn such big bonus money, or you can find a job with a higher salary. In other words, there may be things like a big reward, a financial reward, or a big reputation. But if you have spent the year a little lazy, or if you experience a little bit of moral corruption, unfortunately, the celestial bodies have the risk of setting a big trap for you and turning everything upside down while everything is going very well. So take care not to deviate from honesty and work as hard as you can. So this year is the year of work, ascending step by step, leveling up in life. Yes, you have reached a peak at the end of 2023, but there are much bigger peaks in life. Maybe the peak you have reached after this Pluto only seems like a small hill. You will realize the real peak step by step. So keep your eyes open and seize all opportunities. I wish you a very happy new year.